Hi everyone, this is Amy with My Plant Passion. Today we are going to, I'm just going to show you how I water my orchids. This is one of the new ones I have in my collection. I've already got a previous video on how I actually fertilize them with liquid fertilizer. So basically it's kind of the same thing. I'm just going to dunk it in water, let it soak in water for a little bit, and then drain it out. I use distilled water. I actually have my own distiller, because our water has like chemicals in it, chloride, fluoride, chlorine, that kind of stuff, and it can really damage your plant. On all the plants that I use distilled water just to be on the safe side. So if I accidentally spray, and actually you don't want to do this to these, but I have other plants that I'll miss the leaves. If I do that, it could scorch them and like put spots all over them, and you don't want that. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And actually, this is all distilled water, so I'm just going to pour it. Actually, we're going to do it this way. I'm going to put this in here, and then just kind of pour it on in. I'm going to do it a different way. That way I don't get it all over the leaves, though. I got to be super careful, because if you get the leaves a little wet, you need to really wipe them off, especially on orchids, because underneath them, it can damage them. So you can always wipe them off. It's not going to hurt them to wipe them off, but I don't recommend getting them like soaked, because you're going to need to want to dry them off. And I just did get it soaked a little bit, so I'm going to have to dry it off. But I fill it like this, just kind of let it soak, and there we go. Okay, and I'll give it a few minutes, let it soak, and then I'm going to take the entire plastic container out of there and then let it drain. And I reuse the water for my other orchids too. But also, the way to tell that your orchid needs water is if its roots are like a silvery. And actually this one, his roots are actually sticking out pretty good. So, and if you can zoom in, I will show you a little bit. So this root right here, very silvery. And so he definitely needs water. But you can actually see right there that it's a little greener. So he is getting that water. And again, this is distilled water. I recommend fertilizing them with liquid fertilizer once a month in the growing season. Even though this one is growing, I probably should go ahead and give him fertilizer. I probably will do that next time I water him. And don't panic if your flowers fall off. There's a season for them, and they will come back. Sometimes that does happen. And on several of mine, it has already happened. So, okay, I'm going to take this out. Oop, and I got water all over me. This is why I'm wearing my apron. And you see, and I'm probably going to go ahead and dunk it again, just to make sure it gets a good drink. And orchids are some of my favorite flowers. They're gorgeous. They're so unique. They have so many different types, so many different colors. They're just gorgeous, and they brighten up any room. And this one I have about a foot away from a south-facing window, but it's on the side. So here's my south-facing window. It's over here up on a shelf, so it's not getting like direct sunlight, but it still is getting quite a bit of light, and it loves it. I mean, it's doing very, very, very well. But as you can see, I'm gonna take this out again. I'm not gonna dump anything, but as you can see, if the light is correct, I hope we can get the light right. The green, it's starting to turn green. These roots are, instead of that white color. And down in the corner here, let's see, is starting to turn green. So I would say that's good. I'm going to take this out of here, drain it again, and then really wipe those leaves off good. And I'm going to dump that back in here. And it's always good to kind of have something big like this. That way you can save your water and you don't have to worry about making a mess. The sink is always the best way to do it. Okay, that is ready to go. I just need to dry off its leaves. Find some paper towels here. And I really need to make sure that I get up underneath there because I do not want that. And it's always good to wipe them off. That way if there's dust and stuff like that, you get that off of there as well. And eventually, there's a couple that I'm going to need to repot pretty soon, probably before spring. So I will also be doing a video on how I am basically repotting my orchid. It's one of the ones that didn't come with a plastic insert, so it's hard to water that one. And I like to be able to take it out like I just did. That way it's not sitting in water. So that is good and dry. Get underneath there. Again, they do not like getting wet on the underneath. And also it's a good rule of thumb to kind of take and kind of wipe the leaves off too. Keep them clean. Get any spider webs on them or anything like that. There we go. And just gorgeous. Again, some of my favorite flowers are orchids. But that is pretty much how I water my orchids. When I fertilize them, I take that, like a little scoop of the blue stuff, mix it up in like a gallon like this, and then just kind of do the same thing. Let them sit in there for a few minutes and then take them right out. And that's how I also fertilize them. So thank you so much for watching my video today. Hit like and subscribe for more videos soon to come. And remember, for your mind, body, and soul, to play in the dirt. Bye for now.